remember shortly before breaking up with Racquel and leaving her for good, I was basically trying to get her to open up and tell me things that she never wanted to. You know, like the things that she was lying to me about, doing drugs, going places that she's not supposed to be at, doing things that she's not supposed to do. I always had this weird feeling like her dad was a weirdo. He was always real quiet. And as a man, I always looked at him and I was like, this guy's off. He's just not, there's something up with him. And so one day we were talking and I was just kind of like telling her like, hey, your dad ever touch you or do anything to you? And she would always say no. I'd asked her a few times before, but this time was different because I knew I knew somebody did something to her, and so I wasn't gonna stop. You know, I needed to know what had happened to her. She didn't tell me this before I had hooked up with her. So 10 years into it, she ends up telling me her dad specifically and other family members would take all the boys and girls in the family, the cousins and stuff like that, and they'd put them in a room and they would put pornography on, and all the cousins would watch it, and then eventually they started doing to each other what they would see on the pornography playing. I was just blown away. I was like, wow, like I've never even heard of something like that in a book or a movie. Like what thought process does a person have to take innocent children and pervert them? You know, instead of sexually abusing them, you get them to sexually abuse themselves and they think it's okay. I'm like, wow, like, you know, her dad is a very wicked man. You know, very wicked. He's in a cult. And they serve Lucifer. And it's obvious. Look at all the abuse. God, a good God, does not do that to a child. So if you're praying to a God and you're doing things like this, it's not the right God. I've never done nothing like that to my child. I would have never even thought about it in a million years. I think I would rather die before I would do something like this to any child. So I do believe the mother and the stepfather, Randy Clifton, Armando Gonzalez, and the grandfather where the child resides, Randy Clifton, I believe that there is a lot of mental health, a lot of problems. Racquel had told me that her brother and little brother and other family members were suicidal and they had taken medication. We just want the truth to come out. Like Kendrick Johnson, like Emmett Till. These were parents who stopped being so concerned about getting justice and being more concerned about the world knowing your child's story. Because you're not going to get any justice if nobody knows what happened to your child.